I was living in Kentucky. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky originally, and had started doing sort of these wood cutout paintings with a kind of one-time stenciling, so I could use spray paint as my paint. And just kept playing with that, and then got into a magazine called New American Paintings, and it just kind of gave me that idea that like, well, I can't go any farther with this living in Kentucky. Like, I need to move. I'd just been to New York for 2 weeks, had a really good friend living there that had an empty room. So I just packed up all my stuff and just moved. Like, no game plan, like didn't have a job lined up, just a place to live and like $2,000. And just ran with it from there. You know, it's that thing people always say, it's just like, you know, punk rock and skateboarding saved my life. It's like, I don't know what I'd be doing if I hadn't done just some skinny, weird kid from Kentucky. Like, this all helped me get out of Kentucky and get to live in New York and get to live in LA. It's like, it's been pretty awesome. And it was like Mark Gonzalez and Nodis, and seeing those dudes just like painting on their grip tape, painting their shoes. It's like, you can do that? And it's like, oh, well, I own this stuff, so I can really do whatever I want to. And then just kind of watching the creativity through skateboarding. When I started working with Adidas, like, kept developing into a bigger project and a bigger project. And then as soon as Colin at Adidas asked me, like, hey, would you want to paint a mural? I was like, yes. And especially getting to paint it at the Berrics, and then you guys let me come down there and pick where I wanted to do it. I'm like, well, it's obviously right there. Like, I feel like that spot gets filmed so much. Like, I've created this weird universe called Yad, and it's these wizards and warriors, and they just live in this crazy universe. So a lot of the character from that ended up in the collection I'm doing with Adidas. So it was just sort of a no-brainer for me that, like, he's sort of like the god of this world. That's his head. It's like, well, it's a no-brainer. Like, he's the guy that goes on the wall that's going to be overlooking that whole skate park. Like, hopefully it's not intimidating looking for anybody, but it just was a no-brainer. It's like, it's that guy. Like, he's the one that I have to paint. I honestly have never painted anything that big, so it's like super exciting to try my hand at that. I'd say the biggest thing I'm doing right now is about like maybe 8 feet tall, 4 foot by 8 foot. Sort of trying to picture this big has been really interesting. Especially with drawings, like larger drawings, it starts, it's like it's a 22 by 30 inch piece of paper. It starts with a little stick figure in the bottom of a shape I'm thinking in my head of like how this person should stand. And then pretty much from there I just make it up. That's the only game plan, is like a guy holding a sword or some situation like that. And other than that, like, I don't really have a plan, and I like to just see where it goes and like what I might be able to learn from it, or mistakes to not do again. We definitely learned a lot, which is awesome. Like, that's kind of what you always want out of doing stuff like this, is learning new things and new ways to do things. Like, I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a painter with brushes, and like, so that was really fun to do this with paintbrushes. It's been really interesting. Learn how to trust myself a little bit more. The palette I work in is definitely one I can see, and I can see what I'm doing. But the drawing stuff sometimes, like, in theory, I know how colors work together. But sometimes maybe I'm just seeing a tonal difference. Like, I'm not seeing what everybody else is seeing, but I'm pretty confident that'll work. But even through like experimenting with that, I think the odd color combinations I tend to put together ended up becoming something that worked in itself. So just go for it. Like, don't worry about putting wrong things next to each other. Just like work that out as you're doing it. Because when you're right here, it's just abstract shapes. And it's like, then you go across the room and you can kind of see what the whole thing looks like. And it's just like, whoa, it's really big. And you know, it looks like one of my drawings, just gigantic. Like, it's really cool. It's really awesome to look at.